Greetings, and thank you for taking the time to learn about Colorado Promise. Before we dive into the Colorado Promise program and its details, we are going to start by stressing the importance and overall value of completing a federal or state application for financial aid. We will take just a few minutes to highlight these resources that all students and families should complete. The applications are free and open up a wide array of federal, state, institutional, and even private grant and scholarship opportunities. The free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, is open to all students. If you are not sure if you are eligible to complete a FAFSA, please visit the CDHE website or view some of the other informational recordings we have posted. The FAFSA provides access to all federal, state, and institutional aid. CDHE staff have heard that some individuals are reluctant to complete the form for a couple of reasons. First, they are worried about giving their information to the federal government. Please know the fields you complete are only confirming data which the federal government already has. Second, parents have expressed concerns that if they complete a FAFSA, they or their students will be obligated to take out student loans. This is not correct. Completing a FAFSA will help individuals qualify for student loans, but no institution will automatically take out a loan for someone without their express consent. This allows institutional offices of financial aid to offer student loans as part of a financial aid package, but does not force anyone into taking out a loan. The Colorado application for state financial aid, or CASFA, provides access to state and institutional aid, but does not help individuals access federal financial aid. The CASFA is open to all Colorado residents. Please know if you complete a FAFSA, you do not have to complete a CASFA. The department recognizes that different family situations exist, and there may be concerns about completing a FAFSA. Please reach out to CASFA at dhe.state.co.us with any questions you might have. We cannot stress how important and helpful it is to complete a FAFSA or CASFA. But good news, you only have to complete one. But remember, you need to complete a new application every year you are attending post-secondary education. So what is Colorado Promise? Simply put, Colorado Promise is a state tax credit which provides a reimbursement for the amount a student or family has paid for the out-of-pocket costs for their tuition and/or fees. The amount of the tax credit is determined after all forms of free aid or aid you do not have to repay is applied. So we're talking about all grants and scholarships that you've been awarded. The program only covers tuition and fees and does not cover the broader costs of attendance, such as room and board, meal plans, books, transportation, etc. The program was created by the Colorado legislature through House Bill 241340 and amended via Senate Bill 25319. Why are we sharing this? Because when you contact an institution, they often refer to Colorado Promise by a couple of names. They may call it 1340 or the tax credit or Colorado Promise or simply the Promise. They're all referring to the overall program, the Colorado Promise. Since the Colorado Promise is a tax credit, it operates in two phases. Phase one, you enroll and go to school, work hard, get good grades, and then phase two, the following year, you file a state of Colorado tax return to get reimbursed. Your institution will notify you in late January if you qualified in the prior year. But you might be asking, well, how do I know what it takes to qualify? Don't worry, in the following slides, we will go through the eligibility requirements laid out in Colorado statute. Colorado Promise eligibility requirements are broken down into two main buckets, general qualifications and academic performance. We're going to go through each of these. All right, as we're talking about the general qualifications, these are qualifications that you have kind of going into post-secondary education. First is you need to be a Colorado resident, or more specifically, you need to qualify for in-state tuition. An important note for members of the armed services and their families: if you're stationed in Colorado, you qualify for in-state tuition and as such qualify for Colorado Promise. The next criteria requires a student to complete high school on or after January 1st, 2024. This includes graduating or completing a GED. After high school, a student needs to enroll or matriculate to a Colorado public post-secondary institution within 2 academic years of completing high school. So for example, if you graduate in May 2026, you have until spring 2028 to matriculate. But remember, semesters start in January, so you will need to enroll at a Colorado public post-secondary institution by January of 2028. Additionally, throughout this presentation, we are going to reference Colorado public post-secondary institutions. When we say that, we are referring to any of the state-supported public colleges, university, community colleges, local district colleges, or area technical schools. Please know that education after high school has many different paths, and Colorado Promise is here to provide support regardless of your educational goals. The final requirement for eligibility in the general qualifications is, as we were talking at the beginning of the presentation, completing a FAFSA or CASFA every year. It's very important, and here is why. Colorado Promise requires you to complete a FAFSA or CASFA every single year. But please know that completing these applications on an annual basis not only helps you qualify for Colorado Promise, but it also opens up additional financial supports, all intended to help make your education here in Colorado more affordable. The final piece is that you or your family has to have an annual household income of $90,000 or less. This is determined through your family's adjusted gross income, or AGI. AGI is pulled from your household tax returns and is reported through the FAFSA or CASFA. This number is not simply adding up everyone's monthly pay stubs for the year and involves tax deductions. Bottom line, this can be tricky for students and families to determine. So it's a good guide to reach out to your institution's Office of Financial Aid to help you get this information. Before we move on, we want to take a moment to talk about a special note regarding FAFSA and the tax information it uses. FAFSA uses what is known as a prior year. We have heard from families that this is a point of confusion when determining their eligibility, so we wanted to take a couple of moments to talk through it. FAFSA uses the most current tax year available when it opens. However, due to timing of when the form becomes available to the public, the most current tax return available is delayed. The data used ends up being 2 years older, or the prior year. We've put together a table to help walk you through this. If you think about the fall 2026 semester, it's the start of the academic year 26-27 and kicks off sometime in August of 26. However, the FAFSA for this academic year actually opened in fall of 25, a year before the school year even started. In fall of 25, the most recent tax return available was actually for tax year 2024. So we can see an academic year which starts in 2026 is using financial information from 2024 to help inform financial aid offices of their packaging decisions. So when you are or your students are looking at eligibility for Colorado Promise, you need to look at your household income from 2 years earlier. A big question we often get is, what happens if a family's financial situation has dramatically changed? In those situations, we really encourage you to go and talk to your Office of Financial Aid and bring any documentation to help demonstrate how your financial situations and circumstances have changed. While these changes may not impact your eligibility for Colorado Promise, it will really help inform your institution and their staff, especially as they're looking at your overall financial aid packaging and awards. Next, we will talk about the last bucket of eligibility criteria, which is academic performance. Know that Colorado Promise eligibility regarding academic performance is determined semester by semester. So each term, you will need to make sure you are meeting the following requirements. You need to start each term with less than 66 credit hours. This does not include any pre-collegiate credits you may have earned in high school or prior to enrolling in higher education. So we're really talking about credits earned from concurrent enrollment, AP, IB, as well as military service. If you or your student is still in high school, listen up. Maximize the number of credits you can take in high school and help future you save some money. The next piece, you need to finish a term with a GPA of 2.5 or better and have successfully completed at least 6 credit hours. The GPA is just for that term GPA and is different than your overall cum GPA. We want to pause for just a moment and pass on some helpful pointers about the academic performance requirements. The first, if you start a term with less than 65 credits, all the credits you take in that final term are eligible for reimbursement. So let's say you start a term with 60 credits and register for 15 credits. As long as you complete at least 6 credits and have a term GPA of 2.5 or better, all 15 credits will be eligible for reimbursement. One question we are asked a lot: what happens if you are not eligible for a term? Let's say it's your first semester in college and classes are a bit harder than you anticipated and you do not meet the 2.5 GPA requirement. First of all, do not fret. It happens to a lot of us. Talk with your faculty, academic advisors, other staff on campus. Literally every Colorado public post-secondary institution has resources to help their students succeed. So take a deep breath, regroup, utilize the resources on your campus, and dial in for the next semester. Colorado Promise does not require you to maintain eligibility every single term. However, please know that credits earned during non-eligible semesters or terms still count towards that 65 credit hour limit. The most frequent question the department is asked is, how will I know if I am eligible? Unfortunately, the department does not have the student level data needed to determine eligibility or tax credit amounts, which is why statute requires institutions to identify eligible students. By January 31st, your institution will notify its students if they are eligible to receive the tax credit. Remember, the tax credit is applicable for all semesters that took place during the prior calendar year. So for example, during calendar year 2026, it includes the spring, summer, and fall terms, which took place during 2026. It can be confusing because those terms actually took place during 2 different academic years, but are eligible for one tax year or calendar year. If you think you are eligible and did not receive a notification, please reach out to your institution's Office of Financial Aid or Bursar's office. They should be able to inform you if you are eligible or point you in the direction of a campus representative who can confirm that for you. After a student receives the notification of eligibility, the eligible student will need to submit their Colorado tax return. Please wait until February 16th to file your return to make sure that data has been transmitted from the institutions to the Colorado Department of Revenue. Parents and family members cannot claim the tax credit. This is because of a couple of reasons. First, Colorado State statute stipulates that tax credits have to be issued to students. Additionally, since it is a tax credit, it has to be connected to individuals' social security numbers or ITINs, which institutions do not have for parents and other family members. So again, a student has to be the one to file their Colorado state return in order to receive the reimbursement. So a quick recap of the timing for the program. In step one, or the first year, just focus on your academics, earn the grades. In the following year, the institution will notify you of your eligibility. Once you have received that eligibility notification, then complete a state of Colorado tax return. If you are looking for more information, please visit the Colorado Promise website listed here on the slide. We have pages dedicated to walking students and families through the eligibility process, as well as a general FAQ for the program. If you still have questions, please feel free to reach out to us via email. You can either email the program at coloradopromise@dhe.state.co.us, or you can directly email Dr. Mark Bechet, the program coordinator, via the email listed here. If you are a student, please email from your campus account. This really assists departmental staff in helping to identify the institution you go to, as well as connecting you to staff at your institution. Thank you for joining us today and learning more about Colorado Promise. Please remember, post-secondary education in the state of Colorado is more affordable than you think. Good luck.